Right, let's get this shit going. You know, I couldn't be bothered making a video on these individual topics, so I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna go live. But anyway, we're here. I haven't made a video in a while. My mouth has been killing me, and it still is. And yeah, so I got a massive lisp at the moment. It's a bit annoying. So I just had surgery on my mouth. So I had an accident recently where I broke my jaw, and they pretty much had to pull 3 of my middle bottom teeth out. It's a bit of a hassle because there's a lot of going on down there. I'm missing a lot of gum. I'm missing a bit of bone tissue as well. So they have to put this distraction device in, which I got in currently, and it pretty much drills into my jaw, and I wind it up every day a couple times, right? And it gets lifted, so it sort of stretches my jaw up a little bit. So they're able to drill in another operation later. They're able to drill holes into it to put the implants in, and then after that, I gotta let it heal, and then I gotta get a skin graft, and then I gotta get the prosthetic teeth in. So it's a real big clusterfuck of shit that's going on in my mouth. But that's cool and all, because it's all getting done. Hold on, I just want a skin graft. Yeah, everything's going well. So we got that happening. So I'm constantly in, like, my mouth is constantly in pain, and I have pretty much no inspiration, just record videos and shit. So I'm just jumping on right now, because I just don't give a fuck. I just want to talk about shit. I want to talk about video games without having to record shit and just go live. But yeah, it's just a big bunch of shit that's going on with my mouth and other things, whatever. Yeah, so a lot of shit's going on in my life. But we're here to talk about video games, and that is the most important thing, of course. So I guess we can just jump into things. Like, there's so much shit going on in this damn country with, you know, bloody violence in video games. And not only this country, I mean, they're blowing it up in America as well. So it's just, what a bunch of pussies, eh? It's like, these people, it's almost like they're jealous that we're having fun playing video games, and they just want to sort of stop us from having fun, sort of, if you want to think of it in that way. You had Trump, who almost, I think, sort of started this whole thing of, that's not true, this has always been a thing. There's always been news outlets and shit, shitting on violence in video games just to defame it, you know, are these shooters responsible for all these bloody shooters, these crazy white kids shooting up schools and that? No, it's not. Obviously it's not. Like, if you have a brain, it's obviously not. The only result of that is mental illness, and, like, these people literally hating their fucking humanity, and they just want it to sort of they just want to kill everyone. They're just insane. That's what it really comes down to. I'll get into that later. I wanna get into Dragon Quest first. Just let's knock that on the head first of all. So Dragon Quest 11. Hold on, just let me check. Yeah. So Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age is coming to PS4, Steam on September 4th. So that's very exciting for me. Although I wanted it on the Switch version, but the thing is, they said at a much later date it's coming to the Switch, and then that boggles my mind. So why is the Switch getting special treatment for having a later release date? I don't understand that. Obviously they sort of built the HD version from the ground up on PC and PlayStation 4. Um, I mean that's fine and all. But you couldn't take the extra time to sort of make a version for the Switch. I mean it's the same version. They just got to edit it and sort of change up some things. And I don't like. I mean, Square Enix have been a bit of a bitch in terms of the Switch recently. I mean, the only thing they've really done nice about the Switch is they're working on. They have a different team. Obviously, it's a different team. They're working on what's that game called? Shit, Octopath Travelers, which looks great. I feel like Square Enix have virtually no influence over that game. They're like pretty much shoved it off to a separate development team. They're like, yep, make this a Switch exclusive, or put your indie dream game on the Switch, whatever you want to do. So they're allowing them to do that. But then their major third party games that Square Enix is involved with, they just don't want nothing to do with the Switch. Even though the Switch is gonna be the pretty much the best selling console in the next 2 years, they're gonna be missing out on a lot of money if they're gonna start screwing around with Nintendo like this, because Nintendo are gonna start ruling the market at some point. And if anything, they're starting to rule the market now, because the Switch it's outselling the PS4 every month. Obviously, because the PS4 is pretty much run to its end. Everyone's already bought their PS4 and they're already playing it. So everyone already owns a PS4, and it's to the point now that everyone needs a Switch, and everyone is starting to buy Switches. People that I wouldn't have expected have actually bought Switches, and it's surprising to me. So it's almost like the Wii all over again. I mean, I think this thing is, the Switch is actually outselling like the Wii in terms of sales per month or per year, which is great. I think it actually outsold the Wii surprisingly, because people were just lining up like crazy for the Wii, and the Switch almost feels so quiet because no one's talking about it in this country, at least. I mean, I'm in Australia, and there's obviously a lot of casual gamers. They don't really care about that sort of stuff. People aren't lining up in this country. They only really care about like Call of Duties and stuff. So very many casual gamers in this country. So you can't expect that much going on, especially with this whole news outlets of violence in video games and shit, trying to defame. Oh, sorry, I just saw the games with gold line up. That's not bad. Damn. Oh, I got to talk about that. Okay, that's really good. I'll get to that, but let's just keep talking about Dragon Quest for now. But yeah, like these third parties really need to start hopping on the Switch or start supporting the Switch a lot more, because if they don't, they're gonna start losing a lot of money. And let me just fix that. There we go. But yeah, they really need to start fixing that up, because, I mean, hell, put something like over. I mean, online games, yeah, they're gonna have a bit of a struggle on the Switch, because obviously Nintendo's online infrastructure isn't the greatest, and also the graphics. Graphics aren't important, but like the performance of the system, like having a steady frame rate, input lag with the Joy Cons and that. So that's also a concern with the Switch. So, I mean, putting competitive games on the Switch might be an alright idea. Like, since Fortnite is now the hot topic, as well as PUBG, putting them on the system probably isn't a bad idea. I mean, playing them, I mean, yeah, they're online games, so playing them portably isn't probably the way to go, and it's probably not gonna be viable for just about anybody. But it's still something to sort of get people still inspired to buy the system. Like, I mean, you don't really lose much out of it. Like, what else are these developers doing besides updating the game? They could be hiring some, since they're making bucks, they're making money on these games like crazy. I mean, they can easily hire a small development team to port this games to the Switch. Like, it's pretty damn simple business if you think about it. And yeah, I think a lot of these third parties and these other developers aren't really thinking too straight in terms of the Switch. So they should really start pulling their finger out their ass and making some more money, because the Switch is going to be a big seller in the next coming years. So that's definitely something. So yeah, Square Enix definitely needs to pull their finger out their ass, because they're just they really have become a bunch of egomaniacs. I'm scared they're gonna turn into someone like Konami, because Konami is just turned into some absolute dog shit garbage. Um, yeah, I mean, look what they've done to Metal Gear. They're charging people for an extra save slot, which is another topic for another video. I might even make another video on just stupid DLC and microtransaction practices, but that's too much politics in that. And this live stream in of itself is sort of stretching the whole politics aspect of shit anyway. But Dragon Quest XI, I mean, ever since it was announced and shown, I've been super hyped for this game. I mean, I love Dragon Quest. The games can be pretty lengthy. Obviously, RPGs, they have a lot of depth to them, and just excellent turn-based gameplay. Many games. I mean, as you can see, there's 11, almost catching up to Final Fantasy. Play the previous ones. I mean, Dragon Quest 8 is the most popular one, and I think it is the best one. It just really is an excellent game. Like, it's quite simplistic in terms of your character building and stuff, but it's quite in depth if you think about it. And all I can say is Dragon Quest is a very decent JRPG series. So if you're following this game, I mean, I guess you got something to look forward to. I mean, you probably have a PS4 if you're watching this video right now, and you wouldn't really be regretting buying this game for the PS4 when it releases. I mean, I don't know what the reviews are for the Japanese/English speakers who like to translate stuff, but yeah, I really want to check out what the reviews are for those type of people, how they've been looking at the game. I imagine it looks really good. Like, the gameplay looks pretty damn spot on, and the character building looks spot on as well. So I don't know what the story is like either. But yeah, and the whole coming at a later date, much later, which is a bit of a stupid statement to say on fucking an interview. It's just really dumb. It's not a good idea to be saying that, because you're just going to put doubt in Nintendo fans' minds, like myself, because I want the game on the Switch. Like, the Switch is my preferred system because I'm a die-hard Nintendo fan first and foremost. And it's just that simple. That's what I want to play the game on. And I've already waited. The game is out in Japan, so I'm pretty sure I can wait a bit more, considering that there's so much more other games that are gonna be coming out. I'm not just focused on this one game. I mean, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation, I have a Switch, 3DS. I've got everything. I'm pretty set in terms of game releases, except for maybe Xbox, because what the hell is coming on the Xbox besides Sea of Thieves, which I own and I love it. So I guess that's a good segue. I guess I can move on to Sea of Thieves now. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Dragon Quest. Square Enix spouting out their bullshit. they really need to fix their shit up and stop saying stupid shit online. Anyway, done with Dragon Quest. Let's move on to Sea of Thieves opinions. People have been pretty vocal about Sea of Thieves, um, and mixed reviews. There's some reviews that are saying that it's a bad game, and then you see some YouTube channels who are really focused on the game and are really getting in with the community in that. And from what they say, from what you see from those YouTubers and that who are sort of dedicated to the game, it looks like a good game. And then you got other people who just go online and sort of just say criticisms and nothing good about the game. Now the thing is, this game was announced about 4 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago. Probably in development for a little longer than that, obviously. So it's by Rare, the new Rare team, not the old Rare team, which is fine. I don't mind new teams and that working on new games. It's a new IP. It's not a rehash of an old game that has been done before. So I've been following this game ever since it was announced. I fell in love with it. It looked beautiful. I've been waiting forever for a open world pirate game, especially an RPG, but this is not an RPG, unfortunately. I was hoping it was going to be. But yeah, I love the game. The gameplay is great. I've made a video on this already, so you should probably check that out. Just the thing is, the whole the focus of the game felt like it was dramatically changed to an online audience, or Microsoft sort of made the push onto it to make it online for the casual audience. And I think that was the sort of game's downfall. I mean, yeah, the game is selling great. It's one of the best-selling games on the Xbox One, so congrats to them. And I'm glad to see the game is getting supported. And I'm just seeing this now, but it's topping the Aussie gaming charts right now. So that's it's turned into a casual game. Just saying. But no, the game is good. It's good for what it offers. There's a lot of, I mean, content-wise, yeah, it's a bit lacking. They're going to be updating stuff. They're going to be adding some new stuff. And if you think about that, yeah, the game could possibly be rushed. It probably is rushed, like a lot of games are. I mean, yesterday I think I got a 9 gigabyte update for the game. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of space for a damn update. So there's obviously some damn issues going on with this game. And this game I feel like shouldn't be online only. I felt like they're doing that just to get people to it's tough. It's pretty much to get people to buy Xbox Live Gold. That's pretty much what it's like. And I mean, I did it because I can't just not buy the game. I've been following the game for so long. I've been supporting this game ever since it was announced. I've been hyping it up. I sort of felt like I was obliged to get the game, sort of give my thoughts on it, and give it some good playtime. I've given it some good playtime. I've probably put in 15 hours, maybe 20 hours into the game, so I've been playing a pretty decent amount, and I still want to keep playing more. It's tough. It's tough. You just have it's very split in terms of the community, with the whole, oh, the game is not good, or the game is good but in a casual way. I hate how it's PvP focused. I don't think it should be. I think that should be an optional. It should be an option to do PvP. To be honest, having a shared game world can ruin an experience, as it has ruined mine a few times, where people just hop on your boat and sail it away, and your progress that you've made in that hour or 2 hours is just gone, and that can be just straight frustrating. But I'm pretty sure I've exhausted this in my other video. But the thing is, Microsoft really have nothing else to hold on to but making online only games or online focused games because they have no real faith in their audience to get other games on this system. For example, single player games. Um, I mean, the next exclusive game I can think of coming to the Xbox is Crackdown, which is, if you look at it, it's an online focused game, multiplayer focused game. And that also frustrates me. I don't care for that game at all. I don't want to play it. It does not look fun. I have no interest in going around town blowing shit up. I'm sick of these shooters and that. I want something a little more adventurous. Microsoft really need to sort of broaden their sort of variety in video games and that. So in that regard, but the whole, you know, Sea of Thieves is a good game, and they've got a good development team going at Rare, but I think Rare could be working on something a little more than just an online multiplayer game, to be honest. This feels like an online multiplayer game, and it shouldn't be. That's just how I feel, because it's the only real decent open world pirate game besides Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Yeah, that's really it. Now this just came up. So Games of Gold this year is The Witness, which I've heard good things about The Witness. So I'll be grabbing that. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. If you like Assassin's Creed, there you go. It's a free game. As long as you got gold, of course. Cars 2, who cares? Dead Space 2, great. I mean, there's 3 good games right there, especially Dead Space. If you love thriller, horror games, jump scares, Dead Space is probably right up your alley. So, yeah, during April, go download those. Definitely if you have Xbox Live Gold. If not, yeah, just grab them. I can't really recommend anything else. That's a really good deal for Games with Gold. And I guess I'll get on to the last topic with the whole violence in video games. So it's like a recent trend now that sort of Trump has sort of done this thing where, you know, he says it's violence in video games is the result of school shootings, which is absolutely stupid. He had a meeting with a bunch of other board members or whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. But, you know, it got nowhere. It's not like you can ban video games. It's literally an industry. You can't ban an industry. Like, it's stupid. It's not supported by the government, so they pretty much don't how can I say this? They don't have to oblige by any rules from the government because it's literally just a separate industry in of itself, and it's a big market that sells a lot, and you gotta admit that it's makes a lot of money, and you can't just ban video games altogether because you're gonna be straight up taking people out of their jobs, and you know, people have worked their whole life to be creating video games, selling video games. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. So this is going to be pretty much me shitting on people who don't play video games and who don't understand video games. You see, the people who are supporting this sort of this defamation of video games are the people who don't really know how to have fun. These people are the fun killers, you know, the fun police or whatever. They don't want these nerds like myself. They don't want nerds to be having fun. They want people to just be living their simple, boring lives, going to work, doing nothing. And that's what these people want. They want to be living better lives than these people playing video games, but they just simply can't because we just have more fun than them. And they have a big problem with that because they either they just don't want to do it, they feel bad for doing it. I don't know why. They think it's just a poisonous thing to do in their lives. People think it's such a bad thing to be playing video games. You have bullies, people who call people nerds or just geeks or whatever. I don't I don't have a problem being called a nerd because I am a nerd, of course, but people say it in such a negative sense that it makes you makes you they want to make you feel bad for playing video games and that. But in your heart, if you're a hardcore gamer, you know that you're doing it for the best. You're enjoying yourself a lot, and it's what you're passionate about. And why can't people be passionate about video games? Why is that so hard to believe? Um, why are artists are allowed to be passionate about painting things? Singers allowed to be passionate about singing their own music, singing different other people's music. There's nothing wrong with that. And what's wrong with people playing and doing other things related to video games, like video game development, or what I'm doing? I'm making video game content on YouTube. What's wrong with that? I'm sharing my opinion on something that I love. And I feel like all these people that don't understand, uh, they purposely just want to defame it, or they want to completely shut it out of everybody's lives because they don't like it. Or they just think it's a loser thing to do. I've always hated that mentality, and that's a big thing in Australia. A lot of people think of it that way, as you're a loser if you play video games. There's not many people that appreciate video games in this country, so it's really hard to sort of hop into a conversation with someone and say, hey, what do you think about this game? What do you think about this game? What do you think about the Nintendo Switch? What do you think about the Xbox? And they're thinking, oh, I don't play your Nintendo game box, blah, blah, blah. And it also comes down to, like, people shitting on millennials and that. People always want to, they want to blame the younger generation for not enjoying the things that they did back in the day, that sort of bullshit. People that hate new technology and that. That's the same sort of group. It's the whole hating on millennials, hating on nerds and geeks and that. And this is the same thing. It's pretty much almost a form of bullying, but in a way of an SJW, if you want to think of it that way. So we've got a current affair, which is pretty much a show that's on the Nine Network in Australia. Nine is pretty much a bunch of porbies. They barely they license only a few movies. They repeat all the time on TV and shit. They have shitty shows of pretty much mostly news and shit, and they're nothing compared to Channel 10. Channel 10 is like the king. I don't watch TV, period. I think TV is a waste of time. Too many ads. There's never anything interesting on TV. And I think, to be honest, the people watching TV are the ones who don't have fun at all. They just don't know what to do. All they do is sit down, watch TV, and they really have no other hobbies to do besides sitting down after work. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a sit down after work, but you gotta live for something, don't you? TV is just stupid. That's just my opinion, but I think TV is just an absolute waste of time. I don't hate people. I don't want to defame people for watching TV. Yeah, you can enjoy certain shows on TV, but if you're just sitting down to watch it, just to watch it, because you got nothing else to do, and then you want to go shit on people who have a passion for video games and other hobbies, then there's a big problem there. And it comes down to, I would say this country is full of, absolute fuckheads and bullies. Bullies are the biggest problem. Like, this whole thing is to sort of, it's almost trying to do reverse psychology, saying that people who play video games are the bullies, are the ones that are shooting up schools and that, whereas actually the opposite way around, where these news outlets and stuff are the ones that are bullying the gamers and that. I hate it. Okay. So it's mostly about PUBG and Fortnite as of recent, So I don't like any of those games. I I dislike Fortnite. I dislike PUBG because I think they're just stupid stream games that people play online just to get views, or they don't want to experience any other games that aren't sort of online focused games. They don't. The people who play these type of games, I feel like, are the people that haven't experienced like good quality video games or older video games that are really damn good. And that's just not me playing nostalgia. That's just I feel like it. These people aren't appreciate the people who are playing these games aren't really appreciating other games that are great that are releasing. Then again, you know how these games work, so I don't really have to explain that to you. Apparently, these video games are brainwashing. So, according to these news outlets, I'm talking about this current affair shit, but I'm gonna say news outlets because they're all doing the same thing. If you go look, they're all doing the same thing. They're trying to defame video gamers. They're saying, people are being brainwashed by these games. Do you really think that the developers that are making these games, I like the developers that made these games. They have good intention to make a good video game. The people who made Fortnite, people who made PUBG, I think they're fine. I mean, if you're developing a game, you have a passion for it. As long as it's not one of those, early access bullshit games that are just there to make money. It's what they do after the development that sort of pisses me off. But what was I saying? Yeah, these news outlets believe that they don't believe it. They're just saying it because it's clickbait and is eye catching to people. But apparently it's brainwashing. So apparently these developers are brainwashing people to shoot up schools and shoot up people, hurt people. Why would a developer of a video game want to brainwash someone into hurting people? You think they studied game development and design just to make people violent? I don't think so. They did it because they're passionate for the industry. They're passionate for making video games, and they want people to enjoy the games that they make and enjoy the video games in general. And it comes down to people who don't want that to happen. People who don't want people to have fun. And I could just repeat that over and over again. That's the simple fact. People don't want other people to have fun with things they don't like. Try and revise that in your head. People don't like other people having fun for things they don't like. It's like me saying, I don't like playing sport. I don't like playing. Let's say, I don't know, maybe soccer. I used to play soccer. I mean, it was fun until people took it too seriously, and then it got to the point where it's like, well, what's the fucking point if people aren't trying to have fun? Anyway, but I don't like playing soccer anymore. So it's like that. So it's like me saying, well, I don't like people who play soccer because they have fun with something I don't like. I could be saying I don't like people who like watching tennis or who like playing tennis. I don't like playing tennis. I don't like watching tennis. But I have no problem with those people. So why? And those type of people, I'm not assuming everybody. But there is a lot of people who think like that. Who think video game gamers are losers and are inspired to cause violence upon each other and cause violence in the community. People actually think like that because they're the ones that are getting brainwashed by these news articles. They're led to believe that video games are such a heinous and terrible thing. And it really comes down to just sort of appreciating other people's interest in that. Allow people to sort of express what they love. I could beat this subject like a dead horse, but I'm probably going to get out of here very soon. But the only thing I can really say about these news outlets and these stupid Australians, that fuck you, we have a lot more fun life than you. So, and they're sad about that. They're upset, they're jealous that gamers and nerds like us have more fun than them. That and that's their biggest downfall and their biggest problem. So that being said, I'm probably gonna get out of here. I feel like I've exhausted my thoughts on these topics, and it was kind of fun to sort of just talk about this shit in one video as opposed to recording, editing everything. Just talking about these politics and that in video games, just it can be pretty frustrating and exhausting because it's just never ending. It's never ending. They will not give up. Yeah, it does come down to clickbait as well at the end of the day. Um, a lot of these news articles obviously do it to slam ads on you, to get you to view ads and that, and earn some money. It's the same thing with SJWs and the same thing with feminist groups. Obviously, it's all to be making money. There's no actual impact they're trying to make. It's all to, drain as much money as possible. So, um, I'll let everyone else decide that topic for themselves. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, I'm going to leave it off there. Thanks for watching, anyone who's going to come by and watch it later. But yeah, feel free to check out any other of my videos and that I made a Sea of Thieves review or impressions, just a casual one previously. So I recommend you check that out if you want to hear more of my opinion on Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't do too much of this whole politics stuff on video games. I like to keep it a bit more positive, but I thought whatever, let's go live and talk about this shit. But yeah, anyway, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next video.